Hey everyone, it's Alexi Uzas here from Exile Accelerator. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why you should optimize for speed as a filmmaker in 2021. Now, before I get started, I do want to let you know that spots are available for our Exile Accelerator program that helps filmmakers like you consistently get films financed and into production and fast. So if that's something that you want to learn more about, you're going to want to stick around until the end of this video. And for the best filmmaking advice, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell to be notified when we post a video. Okay, so the first reason why you should optimize for speed in 2021 is that the streaming wars are reaching fever pitch. So right now, billions and billions of dollars are being pumped into acquiring content by the big streaming platforms. And this really is showing no signs of slowing down. In fact, it's showing every sign that it's going to keep increasing and increasing. And what that means for you as a filmmaker is that there has never been more demand for content, be it films, TV series. There has never been another time in the history of independent filmmaking or even filmmaking where there has been so much money pumped into the ecosystem and into the industry. So for that reason, if you're not making films and if you don't have films to sell, then you're basically completely on the outside of the game. Like, you're not even in the game. And right now you want to be in the game because of this reason. So one thing that you want to think about at the start of 2021 is, how important is it for you to be in the game? How important for you is it to be a filmmaker and to be building a career as a filmmaker? Because if it is important to you, then the best thing that you can do is to have a film that you can sell to a streaming platform. Right now, we've sold films to streaming platforms for 5 figures and 6 figures. And these are deals that in the past 5 years since I started my career in the film industry and started going at it full time, I've never seen films be acquired so regularly and with such high license fees. You know, I got into this game when DVD was still a thing and Netflix was just entering the market, and I can tell you from experience that it was extremely hard to sell films, particularly to TV networks, or at that stage, you know, the streaming platforms when they just started. But right now, I have to say that it's never been easier to sell a film to a streaming platform and to get, you know, 5-6 figure deals. So I highly recommend, and I can tell you this from experience, that you get in the game, that you start making films and you start having films that can be picked up by streaming platforms. Because if you do want to build a career as a filmmaker, these streaming platforms are the new studios. So the sooner that you can start doing business with them, start dealing with them, start building a network, the sooner you're going to be able to accelerate your filmmaking career. So the second reason why you want to optimize for speed is that it allows you to more quickly build your career as a filmmaker. So there's no point spending 2 to 3 years developing a project that might get financed, when you could spend 2-3 years making 2 to 3 films. Because if you're going to build a career as a filmmaker, you need to be making films consistently so that you can get better. You also need to increase your chances that one of those films is going to actually break through and is going to help you propel your career forward. And so the best way to do those things is to be consistently making films. And really the best way to build a career as a filmmaker is to make films, right? I mean, it sounds obvious, but if you're not making films, how can you build a career as a filmmaker? And the best way to do that is to do that quickly, to do it consistently, and to do it with some level of certainty that you're going to be able to get films into production quickly. So when you think about developing and financing a film and that taking 2 to 3 years to do, that means that in a 10-year period, you're only going to make 2 or 3 films. So your chances of making something that really breaks out, that really cuts through, is much lower than if you say made 5 films or even 6 films in that 10-year period. Now, of course, if one of those films breaks out and you get signed to a big agency and you start making films for streaming platforms or studios, then you may not have to make a film, every year or every 2 years. At that stage, you can take your time to develop the right project, to put the right project together. But if you're still trying to break through to that level, then the best way to do that is to make films consistently, because it's going to give you the best chance of having that one film that does break through and that does take you to the next level. The third reason why you should optimize for speed is that pressure makes diamonds. And what I mean by that is that there is a big upside to putting yourself under pressure and giving yourself hard deadlines, because it does a few things. Number one, it builds momentum, right? So I'm sure everyone watching this video has worked on a project where it starts with the right momentum, starts with the right enthusiasm, but very quickly that all dies off. And then it's very hard to keep the project going, to keep that momentum up. So one thing that speed does, one thing that, having a tighter deadline or a tighter time period for making a film does, is it creates pressure. And one of the great things that can come out of pressure is that, firstly, it can create creativity, right? You're going to have to start being more creative and become more resourceful with what you're doing. The second thing is that it's definitely going to make sure that the only people that you're working with are people that are seriously committed to what you're doing. Because what happens when you apply pressure to a project is that usually the people that can't handle that pressure or that didn't really believe in the project to begin with soon fall away. And that's something that is extremely important, because if you're going to be making a film with a group of people, you need to know that those people are as committed to the project as you are. So pressure is something that good, because pressure is something that is good, because pressure can create diamonds, or it does create diamonds, right? That's how they are created, through pressure. And so this is why you want to use this for your film. 2 things will happen. Number one, you'll get the film into production faster. And number 2, you may be pleasantly surprised by the level of creativity, the level of momentum, the level of commitment that comes as a result of you creating that pressure for you and your team. Okay, so just a quick break for a second here. I want you to jump into the comments section below and let me know what you think of the video so far, if there are any concepts or any things that I've spoken about that are resonating with you. The fourth reason for optimizing for speed in 2021 is because it allows you to develop your craft and reach a level of mastery. And the reason that it does that is because if you want to be a filmmaker, you have to be out there making films. That's the way you're going to develop your craft. You can spend months and months writing, you can spend years on a screenplay, but unless you want to be a screenwriter, unless you want to be a writer, then you're likely over-indexing, right? You're spending too much time on writing and not enough time on set. Don't forget, the skills that you need for writing are very different to the skills you need as a filmmaker, whether it's a director or a producer. Because as a writer, it's a highly creative but highly isolated craft. Whereas as a director or a producer, it's something that's extremely collaborative. You need to be able to lead people. You need to be able to make decisions under pressure. These are things that they're almost diametrically opposed. The skills that you need as a screenwriter and the skills that you need as a director or producer. Of course, there's going to be some crossover, but they're 2 very different skill sets. So if you want to reach a level of mastery as a producer or as a director, the best way to do that is to be actually making the film, right? Getting the films into production and going through that process as many times as possible. And again, the best way to do that is to move fast, right? To optimize for speed. Now you're going to have to give away a few things when you optimize for speed, right? You can't optimize for speed and optimize for perfection. But when you're starting out, my view is that speed should be prioritized over perfection, because what you're trying to do at the start is make something that gets noticed, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want people to see that you have enough potential to do something great in the future. And so that's why I think optimizing for speed is great at the start, because it allows you to develop the skills that you need to work towards mastery, get better at your craft, so that when that opportunity comes, you know, from Hollywood or from wherever it is that you want that opportunity to come from, you're in a position where, you know, you've developed your craft to a point where you can then move to the next level. And my fifth and final reason for optimizing for speed is so that you can fail fast, learn, and then go again. And so, you know, I've spoken about this before, and it's true that a lot of people, particularly in like the business world, speak about this, is that, you know, in order to succeed, you need to fail, right? You need to fail so that you can learn lessons. You can apply those lessons to a future project or a future endeavor. You can get better, you can fail again, you can get up, improve again, fail, learn, improve, and the process just keeps going on and on and on. And so the argument that I want to put forward is that the faster that you can do that, the sooner you're going to succeed. And really, that's been one of the keys to me being able to work my way to a point where I can make multiple films in a year. It's because I always optimized for speed. I was never worried about getting it perfect or getting it 100% every time. For me, I knew that I would make mistakes along the way. I knew that I would fail in certain areas or fail completely along the way. But I was prepared to do that and move through that process quickly, so that I could learn those lessons as quickly as possible and get to the stage that I am now as quickly as possible. And I'm still optimizing for speed. You know, I know that there's so much more that I need to learn. There's so many more mistakes that I'm going to make. And the sooner that I can do those, the sooner that I'm going to succeed. So that's my fifth reason for why you should optimize for speed as a filmmaker in 2021. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, leave a comment in the comments section below. Let me know your thoughts about the concepts that I've put forward or the positions that I put forward in this video, and let me know if you agree or you disagree. Let me know why you think it's important to optimize for speed, or why you think that actually there are situations where you shouldn't optimize for speed. Now, I do want to circle back here as well, and again let you know that we have spots available for our Producing Accelerator program. What that program is it's a way to work with me and my team directly so that we can help you develop, finance, produce, and distribute your films on a consistent basis. So what we do is we take the system that we've developed to finance and produce our films, we show you how to implement that system into your projects, and we support you as you go through the entire production process and you start to build a career as a filmmaker. So if that's something that you're interested in, go to the description below, you'll find a link, hit the link, you'll be able to set up a time to speak with either me or a member of my team, and we'll be going through your project. We'll be finding out where you're at with it right now, where you're trying to get to, and if we can help. And as always, check out these videos next on how to up your filmmaking game.